I feel like our system is like the best in the world. Like we're able to have the elite, and then we're also able to have the Trumps of the world.
Like, this is an example. Like, how are you juxtaposing? We can have the elites, and then we can have Donald Trump, the guy who like fucking has a gold-plated toilet. Donald Trump is the elites. Donald Trump is the swamp that you're trying. Like, how did we set the and Grok's not even pushing back against this.
But I'm very sympathetic towards Trump because of all of the negative coverage that he got for his first term, and all of the like. When I was really young, so I wasn't really paying attention to it. But
all of it was true. He went on to debate Destiny over whether or not it was true, over whether or not the characterizations of Donald Trump's first term were fair in the Russia thing, and he didn't know anything about it. And it's, you don't even know if they mistreated him. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Rinyald. And if you disagree with anything in the video, make sure you join the Discord and we can have a chat sometime. Okay, so last night, I think it was last night. Wick hosted a panel with Destiny, or like a gauntlet thing with Destiny, where he would basically take call-ins, and one of the people scheduled for the call-ins was this guy named Mr. Wise Guy, okay? This dude is like a absolutely crazed Destiny hater. Like, half of his fucking videos are about this dude. I've debated him twice before, and those debates did not go super duper pooper well. Do you think if he believes that Jews are pushing dialectical hatred against white people, that is anti-Semitic?
That's an anti-Semitic thing to say.
If he believes it, do you think he's probably anti-Semitic?
If he believes it, then yes. I don't think he believes it, though.
Even though he said that it was true. If he doesn't believe it, even though he came out and said this is the actual truth.
Believes it. He thinks it's something that exists.
Wise Guy, do you often believe things that you don't think are true? Like, do you ever just like see a lie? Do you ever just see a lie and you're like, oh man, I think that's true? And his debate with Destiny also did not go super duper well.
In order for a conspiracy to happen, you need to have ways to explain extraordinary things. And I think the president of the United States working behind the scenes to pardon people and to work with people and to pressure people, I think all of those pieces of evidence are all known. Usually we would have to work really hard to uncover these, but Trump does it out in the open. Like with the Ukraine thing, like making the phone call. We have the 47-minute conversation with Giuliani asking Zelensky, say, can you please publicly announce an investigation into Hunter Biden? I know you have no evidence, but please just announce this. We can just listen to the whole phone call. That's an extraordinary piece of evidence that normally you would get declassified 60 years later, you know?
Yeah, I guess. But I really don't I honestly don't have anything more to say on that, to be honest.
Well, what do you have to say? What did you come in here to argue?
Oh, I came here to argue do you remember meeting me at that one the event?
Yeah, was it the one in I don't remember the city.
They switched it. They switched it to a different location.
Was it in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said that you didn't trust me. Why?
Did I say that? It sounds like a meme thing I just said. What was the context for this?
All right, never mind. It was some random nonsense. Okay.
I watched it with a couple of my buddies, and one of the people was Grok, and Grok said, man, I have to post game with this guy. He was telling me to, and I was like, listen, I don't want to. So he joined in. He was also telling me to like DM him. I was like, dude, just message him. He'll let you on. So Grok went on and post gamed with Mr. Wise Guy. I haven't seen much of this. I've seen like a clip of it. So we're gonna watch it because Grok is also somebody that he came to me from Destiny's community, but I know that he's a recurring character on this stream. He's been in a couple of the videos. He watches a lot, so this is gonna be fun.
Bro,
I was literally just using you.
What just happened, bro?
I died. I crashed and burned. That's what happened.
You did die, bro. What were you playing?
I don't know. I just wanted to talk to him, to be honest.
Bro, you clout addicted. That's what you did, bro. You did not prep your shit. And you got your ass handed to you.
I was not expecting him to just hammer in on the specific Pardons, I would have looked into that one more if I knew that's what he was going to. But like,
Ryan Yalden,
I
hashtag
had-
039, S notebook. Cloud suicide.
Cloud suicide. But I had like the
he has TTS on, by the way.
I had the Mueller report stuff.
I was in
the
chat
conclusion
for like
that,
a second.
like the no charges for that. I felt like the Mueller report would have been the biggest thing. Like it literally said no collusion, and you could easily see, like if there was going to be any collusion, you would see.
Specific wording.
Say that again.
You have the wording.
No, I don't have the wording.
Like, so like at the end of it, what does the conclusion say? Like
it says that they found like obstruction, I think, but there was no collusion within the Trump campaign.
Brody, that's what you would have to be solid on. And if you think they found obstruction, then they did obstruction, and obstruction is really fucking bad because it like there's a reason why that's a serious sentence and why pardoning it is a crazy thing is because like if you were obstructing and you're like kicking out the ladder out from under you, who knows what you could have been doing? Like that, there's a whole Pandora's box of like criminality there that sets a really, really scary precedent. That if they manage to get away with that because everybody who did it got pardoned, like we are seriously talking some like next level political scandal shit.
Yeah, but Destiny did, like I said, that you could but if you get pardoned, you can just easily go into an investigation, and then they don't need to plead the fifth if they don't want to. Like they won't get they can't get prosecuted for it and thrown into jail, but they can definitely get investigated and they can talk about it. Like that would.
This is something that was brought up during the debate with Destiny that Destiny responded to. He said, yeah, well, doesn't pleading guilty remove your ability to plead the fifth? And it's like, okay, what happens if they either lie to investigators or they just try to plead the fifth anyway, or they don't cooperate with investigators, or they don't cooperate with a subpoena? Oh, well, they get found guilty of, I think that's a contempt charge. Okay, that's federal. You just get pardoned again. That's not actually addressing anything.
Be easy, but that's kind of just dismissed it as like a cute little legal theory, and I'm like, but that's something you could easily do though. Like there's no reason not to do that. It doesn't matter if it was never been tried.
And plus, what if it's what if it's beneficial to them? Like, why would they want to go forward with that information if they are getting pardoned and coasting by now with what they do?
If people,
what benefit do they get from?
If people really,
also, I think this would probably be double jeopardy. No, like if you're trying somebody for the exact same crime after they were found guilty, just so you can work around a pardon. I'm like 90% sure that's unconstitutional. Like, I don't know what probe, unless you find something else after they already obstructed the first investigation. But I'm like 90% sure that would be unconstitutional.
If people really want to know that if the Trump campaign like actually colluded with Russia, you could still get that information and then throw it out there, like easily.
Not if they destroy it. Not if they obstruct you from getting it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the pleading the fifth thing, where the guy there's no reason for him to like he can't get prosecuted anymore for any of that information. But you can easily get that information now and throw it out there, and he can get publicly condemned. Like that also is a thing that you could do. Pardoning doesn't like stop public condemnation.
Yeah, but what if you get to lose?
Publicly condemning somebody doesn't do anything, and it doesn't help investigators. The point is that you can infinitely pardon somebody who's not cooperating with this federal investigation. And you won't get information out of the federal investigation because they're obstructing you. That's a wall that you're putting in front of investigators. The public coming out and condemning them it does nothing.
None of your status. What if you get to have all of the political power that you've had? And what if you get like, I just don't understand like this idea that like.
I feel like you guys hold the obstruction thing much higher than it needs to be. Like there's easy ways to get information out.
Every single one of these things is so unfathomably illegal. The fact that there's a woman that for that.
How do you get information out of somebody who has the ability to be infinitely pardoned by the fucking president of the United States? How do you get the information out of them? You have no charges to actually use for leverage. You have like obviously they're not of innocent mind. They're not going to tell you out of the goodness of their heart because they already obstructed your first investigation. What pressure could you use legally? Because I mean, it's not like you could just beat the shit out of them or like threaten them or something. Like that's not how our legal system works. What legal arm could you use to pressure these people if they know that they can fall back on Trump's pardon power?
That filed case that he got his ass handed to him, it was probably the most embarrassing thing legally coming out of this country. I think it's honestly some of the funniest like media produced in the 21st century, because you go through and you read the quotes from this.
Seems like Grok is just rhetoric maxing here, if I'm being honest, but he's not actually pushing back against any of the arguments. He's just kind of making, which is fine. There's space for that, but it just seems like he's I think Grok said the strategy that Democrats should be taking is like mostly just calling Trump a fat retard and then just making conservatives acknowledge that they're voting for a fat retard. And that's kind of what that's kind of the strategy that I'm seeing out of him right now.
This guy, he's an idiot. He's a bumbling idiot. He talks like a child. When he's doing things, he gives away the illegality of what he's doing. Like his defense, which is that I can declassify them with my mind, was immediately overshadowed by the very glaring fact that he's announcing in some of these transcripts, I know I shouldn't be showing you this. I could have declassified them, but I didn't. These are the things they didn't show me, and they said they weren't real, but I have them. So he's saying, 1, I have something I shouldn't have. 2, I'm showing you something I shouldn't be showing you. And 3, I'm stupid enough to say all of this out loud, to form it into words, and to put it out there. So I think it's such a beautiful like comedy of errors that we have a leader who's doing this stuff. Like, and the reason that case like went away from him is because the nutter lawyer who was assigned to that case in like this random fucking district was willing to tank her career for it. She got disbarred for dropping that case because she and the way that she did it was this psychotic legal loophole where she said,
Cannon get disbarred for that?
Said that the special prosecutors that were appointed to him were like unconstitutional. Nobody has ever contested the special prosecutor. That never fucking happens. So she abused a legal loophole that she got disbarred for trying to abuse. So it was basically just like a political suicide bomb. And it was just to save Trump some breathing room in the media cycle. And he didn't even need it anyway because he just fucking won. It's wild. It's wild. This is all like...
Wait, we're talking about 2016?
No, this was recent. This was
okay.
Like, bro, this is wild.
Also, it doesn't help. This is what I was just talking... I don't know if anybody... came from non-fon. This is what I was just talking about with non-fon, where it's like, how do you prep for a debate with somebody who's a fucking idiot? I mean, how do you prep for somebody like that? There's no amount of like factual prepping that you can do for somebody like this because they're just going to be a fucking idiot the whole time. Like, and this is like not even particularly shade the wise guy. He's just not smart. Just not a smart guy. So, I don't know, like, he just asked if the documents case was in 2016. Like, what the fuck is happening?
There's so many scandals that come out. Like, you remember Stormy Daniels? Bro, like, that was campaign money. He was using campaign money for, bro, that is a destiny problem, by the way. That's a problem that you only have because you're a gooner, and that happened to Trump. That's the funniest thing to think about, is that he had, like, a destiny moment. Which is like, your coomerness getting ahead of you. And he's the president. He's literally the leader of the free world.
Yeah. I agree that Trump is very, very unique and he has a lot of weird things on him.
Unique and weird. Is what I want
LOL. How unique and weird. I actually, we'll see. I don't actually know if Wise Guy is as stupid. Well, no, after that talk with Destiny, he has to just be stupid. But like, I don't know what kind of wall, like if there's any psychologists that watch this video, I don't know. I don't know what wall is up in Wise Guy's brain to where he like hyper charitably views every single thing that Trump does, where like these clearly insane, illegal, bad faith actions get reframed before they like get articulated by Wise Guy to be like unique and weird. But like I don't know where this reframing is happening, or like what makes him think that Donald Trump has earned the benefit of the doubt on any of this, that he's just like he has a unique brain, or that he's like thinking something weird but like he still has a good heart on him. I don't know where this is coming from.
Like a cute girl with glasses who like goes to the same Barnes and Noble as me. But again, I don't want cute, weird, and quirky that has the nuclear codes. I don't want this guy around sensitive. I don't want this guy around like Fine China. Okay, I think he'll bump it, knock it over because he's demented and old. Like this guy is. I mean, I think he has to wear adult diapers. I've heard rumors from people in the White House that he is wearing adult diapers, and he kind of is starting to look like it. He's old. He's having sort of like necrosis breakouts on his hands. He's like a skeleton. He's dying. It's crazy to watch, and he's fat. He's very remarkably fat, which I think is funny because it's sort of just like a punchline that your president, the guy who represents you, has a disgusting.
He's running the fat retard
strat. He lies about how tall and about how attractive he is all the time, and he's like 80-something years old. Like I think that's pretty revealing of us as a country. I think it's sort of like.
I mean, I think it's just funny. I feel like it's just funny.
I know. I feel like is there no way we can't expect better? I mean, some politicians will always just be slightly scuzzy, but like I want a less open and brazen scuzzy. Like weird and unique, I get. I want someone who's weird and unique too, but my weird and unique was like Bernie. Like that's my weird and unique. I don't need weird and unique that comes in and like
we did have
to invade Greenland, bro.
that was a interesting time. I don't think has he talked about
how
that?
Interesting.
I don't think he's talked about that. Like at all anymore.
He literally just like drops.
That time was so interesting.
It's like a ball that he plays with. It's like toys, and then when he's bored with the toy, he's like, "All right, I'm gone."
I get it. So like, okay, so I understand. Like we have all these weird and
How
unique things
unique
that are
and
really bad
weird.
in a president. But like the country isn't really like what's the like? Are we worse now since like the years with Biden?
Yes.
Like,
so easily, yes. I mean, we've seen like economic downturns, 300 new people added to El Salvador. We've seen like the gutting of all of our federal institutions that we won't see the ramifications of until it's time to use them. Like gutting the IRS. That's insane. That's going to like drastically reduce the federal government's ability to collect taxes. Or, like absolutely gutting like USAID, which I'm sure Grok is going to bring up. But like, yeah, obviously we've seen like drastic, wild, insane changes.
what has substantially changed that actually affected?
It's starting to have ripples, and you won't notice it until later down the line because these are the things that manifest.
I wouldn't even grant that. There are actively, and there were in March, people being tortured in El Salvador right now. Donald Trump let thousands of people who tried to disrupt the certification of the election run free. And some of them are pedophiles. He let the leader of the Proud Boys go. Oh, fuck. All right. I got too locked in. He let the leader of the Proud Boys go. Like, yeah. Yes, we're seeing ramifications. What? Yes, we're in a worse spot than we were. Holy fuck. All right. Am I locked out? I'm locked out. All right. Hold on. He can reach the whole screen, right? But yeah, like don't even grant that like, oh, these are going to be things that need to be seen later down the road. No, we're seeing them right now. Like, ask the fucking person who's getting the wet floors zapped underneath them to send a shock through their entire fucking cell to shock their cellmates. All right, ask the person who's being put in prison cells with rival gang members, or with litigated gang members that want to hurt people. All right, like ask these people with no due process. Okay.
Like it's the things you get punished for, like, you know how like when climate change, it's like, oh, if we go up 1 more degree, it's like, what's 1 degree gonna change? Like, fuck if I know the difference between 86 and 87 outside. Like, but when you think like that, you don't realize how fucked you are until
he's doing like the slowly boiling the frog thing, which is kind of true, but the problem is that we're already boiled. Like, the problem isn't that Donald Trump is just starting to boil a frog and we're not going to see the ripple effects. The problem is that we're boiled. The ripple effects aren't even perceived as ripple effects anymore because of how boiled we are.
Her kids are coming home the next day and are saying like, yeah, the teacher had us do a class debate about whether or not the 2020 election was stolen. So and we learned a lot. And you don't realize how far gone your culture and everything is. And it's the ripple. It's like there was this huge shutdown when they were doing the cuts with Doge. They shut down like the weather service section. Yep. So a huge chunk
they
of
shut down everything. The federal funding pods. Holy
East
fuck!
Coast, like had really bad seasons. Like there was really bad fish prices and like just general stuff because this huge government agency that reports all the weather patterns for the boats to like learn to avoid for peak fishing hours and stuff. Like they just didn't have any data or information for them. So there was just like this huge market shift for a while that like I think shut down. Like I think a couple companies went out of business because of it. So it's like it's just little things like that, just bumps. And you're just like, is something going on? Like there was a bunch of people who got laid off in the shipping industry, and these are like blue collar jobs too. Like it was the shipping industry. There was this huge like layoff session after the tariffs were announced, and these huge sectors of industry just stopped coming, like because they get paid by the cart or the what's it called? The box on a cargo container. They get paid by the container. So if there's less containers coming in and they're doing less hours and like they're moving less stuff, they're not getting paid as much. So like you don't realize how much your like 15% tariff, because it just sounds like a small number because it's just like, oh, it's just 15%. Like that in terms of total proportion of trade, that is a lot of fucking trade. That is a huge amount of trade that we're just like throwing away. And the thing is that if the tariffs were liberal, I'd be okay with it because there's things that tariffs rightfully address, like electric vehicles. China was totally trying to flood the industry with like really, really uber cheap EVs so they could be like the dominant like player in that industry before any Western companies get to it. And they totally like took over Europe with that. So tariffs are actually useful when they're like used like sort of a scalpel or a needle with a fine point. But when you use them like a chainsaw, you get nothing and you ruined your dinner because now you're putting tariffs on the Penguin Islands. You're putting tariffs on fruits that can't come from anywhere but this island, meaning that you just made this fruit blank more expensive for no reason. Like there's no way we can domestically produce this thing. So why are we tariffing them?
It's possible. Like that. It's possible. We can do some greenhouse.
Fuck, don't do the fucking meme like, oh, are you gonna domestically produce bananas? Don't do the meme. Which, I mean, Grok should do the meme if it works, but like I'm telling like wise guy, don't fall for this. This is like the stupid conservatives don't even bite this bullet. What are you doing?
greenhouse.
You think that is so lame. I'd rather do trade with that country that sells me that rando fruit than have to like bring my magic beans over here and grow my own Ringo fruit in worse, like, agricultural conditions. So it's going to be a poor quality. It's going to be some sort of like lab manufactured, GMO filled slop alternative that everybody who's been to the actual island and had the real fruit is telling me, you're missing out, you stupid Westerner. This real fruit's actually banging over here. And you have it worse because you live in stupid capitalist countries. And I'll put my head down in shame because they'll be right? It's fine to have a little bit of globalism. It's fine to trade with people. It's fine to sell goods and it's fine to buy goods. It's fine to have a bit of debt. We have a lot of debt, okay?
But the argument is that we're relying too much on the global. So we're kind of like pushing it back. We're not like completely, I mean, I know the rhetoric is like to kind of exaggerate and say like, oh, we're going to completely do everything our own. Like that's not necessarily going to be the case, even if that is like a goal that he's going to try and do. Well, I mean, if it was the goal, then everything would be 100% tariffed or 1,000% tariffed or whatever. But
this is Wise Guy might just have to be I might just kind of have to treat him like the X guy. It's kind of separate, but it's like kind of the same idea where it's just like, you're not good at this, and that's okay. It's okay. You just don't like reading. You don't like doing a lot of research. You're kind of just trying to post talk. I don't think you actually care about any of these issues. I mean, like, this dude literally went up and told Destiny he thinks he's taking politics too seriously. So, I mean, you should just not talk about politics, because I don't want to listen to you half-heartedly say retarded stuff that people are actually going to listen to, when you don't even like care or believe in any of this enough to actually advocate for it. Like, I don't want to have to deal with the rhetoric that you're spreading half-heartedly without doing any research if this isn't something you actually care about. So I just want you to, like, this Wise Guy's just the kind of guy where he should just locked out. Oops. Wise Guy's just the kind of guy that he should just stop talking about politics.
An inroad to the American market is literally a ticket out of poverty for these countries. Like, if you are in with the Western hemisphere, you're in big time, bro. And the thing is that like it's just I don't know why this stupid idea has gotten into people's heads. It really is just dumber nationalism. Like, I like the fact that I'm like talking to people on a computer that was made with different parts from literally like every single corner of the earth that's been assembled together. That's a cool thing. I like that. And I want that to continue. I don't think everything needs to be made on some predetermined patch of dirt. Like, it doesn't need to be on my country, my continent, for me to, appreciate it, to enjoy it, to use it, to find value in it. Like, I think globalism is a beautiful endeavor. And I think the slandering that we've seen sort of just over these past couple decades where
Grok is genuinely I think he's using words that are too big. If you want a rhetoric max, you just can't use big words. I mean, you just can't. I would be shocked if Wise Guy can actually give a definition of globalism. If I'm being 1000% honest.
Where people will use globalist almost as like a slur. They'll throw it at you because it's a gross thing to be. It's not. It's a humane, it's an incredibly progressive thing to be. And I think that nationalism is a disease that is holding humanity back. It's a tool that if we use it well, it'll function to a good end. But I think the globalism is a beautiful.
I think the reason why globalism gets a nasty rap is because a lot of people, when they say globalism, they associate it with like just mass immigration, and we have like a big problem with that. Like, they probably shouldn't. I mean, well, there's a perceived, at least say there's a perceived massive issue with like immigration.
You can perceive anything. Like, this is like.
I mean,
there is a psychosis going around. I agree. Thank you for putting the words.
Yeah, you can. Yes. Okay. I'm not saying it for you to agree with them. Just like this is the reasoning for why this is like why.
It's bad reason. And that's what I need to do. I need to open these people's minds, bro, because it's not just that. It's like you have been scare tactics so hard when it comes to like migrants, bro. The real reason your life sucks is because wealth inequality is fucking out of control in this country. It is actually wild. That's the real problem. The problem is not that some guy named Pedro or Juan is coming here and doing your job at like middle management somewhere better than you.
So I don't think that.
The problem is that
I know a lot of people feel that way though. I don't my life doesn't suck. I don't think my life sucks. But like, I know what you mean. The sentiment that a lot of people feel like their life sucks because like the immigration issue. Like, yeah, I understand that that's been like, I guess, propaganda thrown into the minds of a lot of people, and that's why people believe it. But like, it's I mean, if there was no truth to it, then it would just fizzle out easily. But there's some truth to it, enough to where it stays in place.
Well, no, there's like a perceived truth to it, because there's like, so here's the thing: is that things are always going to happen. Bad things will happen. Like, this is just a fact of the world, and it's just a matter of where you're showing the camera. Because
the problem with like doing the free marketplace of ideas, lol, on like on factual claims is that people don't actually have the time to look into factual claims. So it's really hard to let the free marketplace of ideas dictate a claim that is factual in nature that people are being lied to about, because people don't have time to know whether or not they're being lied to. And if you go on the news, if you go on Fox News and you're like, oh, everything is the immigrants' problems, and you listen to the president and he says everything is the immigrants' problems, and you listen to like all of the people that Fox News brings on, including like the pseudo-independent people like Joe Rogan blaming everything on immigrants, you're just going to believe that everything is immigrants, and you're not actually going to have an articulatable reason why. But that's not because like, oh, it's the free marketplace of ideas, there has to be some merit to it. It's because you've been psyoped. Like, you've just been successfully psyoped. That's the strength of good messaging, is that it doesn't matter if you're right, because people don't have the time to tell if you're right. They listen to what they hear. If they hear something a lot, it'll stick.
Like, I have to hear about Laken Riley. Why do I have to hear about this? Who cares? Who cares that there was a person who was an illegal immigrant and there was a person who was not an illegal immigrant killed her? Who cares? Like, I can show you videos of Mormons killing non-Mormons. I can show you videos of Jews killing non-Jews. I can show you videos of Christians killing non-Christians. I can show you videos of non-Christians killing Christians. Why do I need to see, like, who cares that this one thing happened? It's a stupid thing to obsess over.
I get it, but I feel like the way to counter that is more, you gotta, your side needs to get more propaganda. You need to win the propaganda war, and you guys aren't winning the propaganda war.
We have been beaten down by a wave of bots, a wave of actual psychotic drones.
Then get a wave of bots.
Think nothing. They are. There is
no. But I'm saying if that's the issue, play the same game.
No.
Well, then that's why you're going to lose.
Yeah, I'm not willing to. I'm not.
It's kind of right.
Like,
oh fuck,
it's all dumb and stuff.
There are bad methods. I don't think that's a good method. Like,
oops.
Yeah, but now you're just getting in the way of your own. So is it bad enough to where you're going to stoop down to play the same game as as what they're doing, or is it not bad enough yet to actually stoop down to their level?
I think that we can get far enough with honesty, and I think we just need to be pointed. I think we need to be honest, and I think we need to be direct.
Well, it's not about being honest. I actually disagree with Grok here. I think we do need to do propaganda way harder, but the difference is that our propaganda just should be right. Like, you can still do like this kind of propagandist style of messaging, but just message them correct views. That's possible. And I think that's probably what we should be doing. We should be doing like the slick, like roll off the tongue, memorable things with correct points of view. Now the problem is that Democrats typically have a lot more nuanced views, so it's kind of hard to do the kind of brain rot delivery with more nuanced views, but it's possible. I think
we need to be more confident ourselves. Like, I don't think it needs to be this game of like snakes. I think you can just walk up, puff your chest out, and stand your ground, because you're right about, like, I'm saying you, but us. Yeah. Like, we're right about 90% of these points. Like, we're like, most of the time we have our fucking heads on our shoulders. Like, this notion that, I don't know, it's one of those things where it'll get better with, I guess, the next sort of generation of politics filling in. I think there'll be a couple.
My prediction of the next election is a total pendulum swing. Either a total pendulum swing back to a Democrat that completely erases everything that Trump does, or we continue with the populist route. And if we continue with the populist route, then I'll be like, okay,
he knows the word
maybe
populist.
Destiny was right to be afraid of this.
No, but like, you understand that's how you get there, right? Like, that is the start to it.
Yeah, but he's not. Is Trump doing anything like legitimately trying to like make it so that he can't? Like, because like people voted for this, but maybe the reason Trump.
Yes, we had a whole. By the way, sorry, me and Wise Guy had a whole conversation about how Donald Trump already tried to subvert the results of the election, and Wise Guy said it was based because he didn't like Joe Biden's gas prices. So I don't know why he's like saying, oh, well, did Trump actually do anything to... Yes, he did it before you guys fucking voted him back in. He did it at the end of his first term, and you voted him back in, and you thought it was based. So I don't know why you're asking if he actually attacked our institutions. You already know he did, and you don't have a problem with it.
Won both those times was because no one was going to vote for a woman. Maybe that's a theory that's out there that has some weight, where Trump only won because
that's
the women...
why they don't run Buttigieg. The gay guy's not going to win. That's the thing, is that, bro, like... yeah, seriously, like, it's not, a woman is not going to win. Again,
I disagree, by the way. I think Kamala Harris had, like, I don't think the thing that lost Kamala Harris the election was because she's a woman. It was because Joe Biden was unpopular, because Republicans got really good at messaging over the 4 years. So Biden was pretty much like a dead candidate, and Harris was his VP. So she just had the necessary tie to Biden, and she didn't do a great job at breaking the tie between her and Biden. So that was a big reason. And inflation is obviously like a fucking super huge, giant reason. Had there not been like a giant fucking global pandemic that led to giant deficit spending, which led to giant inflation, or not even deficit spending, but like the stimulus that led to a bunch of inflation, Kamala Harris could have won. Like, it's super, super easy. Had COVID not happened, I think Kamala Harris had COVID not happened, though, Donald Trump may have gotten a second term. I don't know if Joe Biden would have won without COVID, but I mean, like, without inflation, Kamala Harris, I think, has a very, very, very strong shot of beating Donald Trump.
It's not gonna win. Like, you really do just have to believe, like, which vibe is going in the right direction, and it's just like we're getting worse progressively because it's just chopped, bro. It's very chopped.
I really do think we're going to keep getting like major switches back and forth because we had Trump and then we had Biden and then we got Trump again.
Biden was not a major shift back. He was not like he was a progressive candidate, sure, but he wasn't like Joe Biden wasn't like a fucking communist. Like, we're talking about Donald Trump, who's like a far right, like hyper populist isolationist, versus Joe Biden, who's like a little further left than the establishment. I don't know, but who's still like perceived as an establishment player. This is not like Joe Biden was not that radically different than the status quo. He just followed progressivism, and he was necessarily more progressive than the last candidate because that's progressivism. But like, not substantially. Where Donald Trump was a giant fucking move away from the precedent set by like Bush or by Obama. If Biden came right after Obama, though, it's not like everyone would be like, wow, he's so far to the left. Like the Infrastructure Act. Oh my God.
We're lame, we're weak, we're stupid, and we're incompetent. Like, we don't have a unified front to present. We have no good media management. We have no good sourcing. We have no good on the ground. Like, the closest we have to actually interesting shit right now is like John Oliver, Channel 5, maybe a bit of Destiny. It's like, who cares? These are fucking randos. These are randos. These are actual randos. And they're randos with a cavalcade of allegations floating around in their past. So they will always hit that invisible ceiling and never manage to break out into a mainstream enough audience to make an impact. It's like, we're stuck in hell, bro. We're stuck in actual hell. And meanwhile, you have dude, I'm about to say some wild shit. You have these these conservative cucks who look like drones, who sound like actual ChatGPT robots, the Benny Johnsons of the world, bro. This guy is getting invites to the White House. Kill me. Kill me. This guy is a Twitter loser, bro. This guy is an idiot. This guy is a 5 IQ idiot who I hate that we live in this timeline.
I don't watch him, and I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of big political commentators on the right, not including Tim Pool. I will always defend Tim Pool, but other people like I would say. Well, before you say that, let me get this other thing out there. But like, the Benny Johnsons, I saw little bits and pieces. I never watched him. The only reason I started watching him because people started criticizing him on the left. I'm like, okay, what's going on with this guy? I never really cared for this guy. I don't really need to defend him. But then I saw some of his stuff, and I'm like, okay, I see why people aren't doing that. But the reason he's being invited to the White House is because we have a guy that's very similar to the way that he speaks and does things in the White House. So I mean, like, it kind of makes sense why he's there. They kind of collect their own. And we also have, I feel like Trump was the
very similar in their allies too. Am I right? Heyo. The foreign countries that they choose to collude with. Am I right?
Of like just the common, unpolitically educated person that doesn't really pay too much attention to politics. Like, they ended up winning because I remember at like my old job when Trump won, it was like a disproportionate amount of people that wanted Trump to win there. And let's just say that my old job didn't have the brightest people, but they all loved him. And I'm like, okay, all right. So there's definitely some validity for, like, I guess Trump won the quote unquote dumb vote or retarded vote or whatever you want to call it. But I feel like there's so many more votes for that because there's just such little amount of people that put in the time to actually educate themselves into looking into this type of stuff. And also the vibes aspect as well. Like, that's a big key player, which I feel like that's why ever since the internet age, I feel like we're going to keep on swinging back and forth with the propaganda until at least maybe one side gets the upper hand and has like a really good presidency. Like, I'm not even sure if we're going to have another swing. It's too early. We're not even done with the first year of the 4 years of Trump, and so much has happened. A lot of people on the right say a lot of good things have happened, so much more than has ever before, or whatever the exaggeration is. And people on the left are saying, well, there's like so much bad things Trump has done since he came in. But like, I still feel like we're basically like, the opinion of America has dropped, but I feel like that's not really that big of a deal. Like, we're going to have 4 years of this guy, and then we're going to have another 4 years of another guy. He'll probably end up raising the spirits again. Like, I just don't think, my main criticism of the whole political stuff is that I feel like some people take it way too seriously, Destiny included. And I feel like we're not seeing all the. I feel like he's being way too hyperbolic for no reason. Like the whole he's making these very crazy points. Like the whole it was just unnecessary to make a joke about the whole the firefighter thing. That wasn't really necessary at all. Like we're not to the point to where we need to start joking about people dying. And then the whole Texas flooding thing, where he wanted to make a whole policy point of like they should have had.
Well, fuck. I mean, to be fair though, I agree. You know, I think those tweets were probably a step too far. Mostly in that the joke wasn't clear enough, but I mean, like, I don't think that those jokes looked good. But the problem is that you also, I mean, don't forget, you voted for Donald John Trump, the dude who like made fun of Paul Pelosi being attacked by a hammer, saying, "Oh well, maybe it wouldn't have happened if you had bigger walls." You know, like, dude. You voted for somebody who does the same exact shit. Why are you saying like, oh, I don't know if we're in a position where we should start doing that when the leader of the fucking free world is doing this? Who else should you be taking your cues from other than the leader of your fucking country? Like there was a time where people would look up to like, oh, I want to be like the president. I want to be the president. Nobody wants to be fucking Donald Trump. But like, how are we saying we're like, oh, we're not to the point where we should be doing this, even though the president of the fucking United States of America is doing it?
Block the policy, but he should have like said something about the policy and not just be like, yeah, these kids, and then making fun of like their religion, basically, like, oh, God didn't like these kids because of that. Like, it was nothing to do with policy. Like, he kind of said the policy thing after the fact, as if he was trying to scapegoat from it. But like, there's no reason to do that because like I feel like it's not that serious. And I really wish I would have had more time to talk about the Tectone stuff with him, because that video with him talking to Tectone was actually very revealing on like why like the everyday, like the Asmongold's, the Tectones, just the uninformed, but still somehow they're able to like understand like perfectly what Trump wants to do, even though they don't really care too much about politics.
They don't understand exactly what Trump wants to do, by the way. These people just repeat the talking points. You don't understand what's going on in your country if you can just repeat talking points of policy proposals by the Trump administration. That's not, it doesn't take intelligence to do that. I can tell you exactly, like, this is why people say it would be so fucking easy to be a conservative grifter, because you just need to, like, you just say the same fucking 5 things over and over and over again, and everyone will look at you like a goddamn prophet. It would be so easy to just grift as a conservative, because people look at Asmongold as somebody with political value. That's my mini spiel on that, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's sad. I think that people who think that are kind of like.
Oh yeah, I did mention the Tim Pool thing. You can bash him now if you want.
Yeah. I think that I think that you're right in that it is kind of like the idiot vote time. Like, we just sort of have to tolerate them now. I think it's sad. I think you shouldn't just have to accept it. I think it is kind of okay to say, I don't like that this is the people who have to be appeased right now.
I'm not saying you need to accept it. I'm saying, but I would say this.
Like, I would say president, bro.
I mean, okay. I mean, it's to expect it, but I don't think you should. Like, you can still have your criticisms. I'm not saying you shouldn't criticize it. It's just that, to be honest, I think this is actually what makes the American system really good. Like, we were able to have like the intelligent, like we had the Barack Obamas. Biden wasn't really an intelligent.
True. That's what it makes America so good, is that we can have an intelligent president and we can have dumb fucks who know nothing. That's what really makes America so special, is that we can have retards who know absolutely nothing about how the government works in charge. That's what makes America so good. Based and true.
Intelligent, like Obama, but Obama was like the elite, right? Like this really smart and charismatic type person. But then we're able to also have the Trumps of the world, and still.
Obama was a careful unweaving of the world that Bush thrust us into.
To be honest, I'm too young to even understand how Bush was even. I have no recollection of what Bush should have been or how he was. I have a little bit of Obama, but I was like, what, in the 3rd grade when he got voted in for the first time? Like.
Yeah, I think if you look back and you just watch a couple of things, you could put the pieces together. Like, it makes sense, the sort of political story. The thing that changed everything was that one recount of Bush v. Gore, where Al Gore could have won the recount, but it went up to the Supreme Court and they just tossed it out for no reason. If he won that recount, he would have won the election. Then we wouldn't have had Bush. Maybe we wouldn't have had the Iraq War. It would have been whole different situation.
Yeah, I think I feel like our system is like the best in the world. Like we're able to have the elite, and then we're also able to have the Trumps of the world. But
like this is an example. Like, how are you juxtaposing? We can have the elites, and then we can have Donald Trump, the guy who like fucking has a gold-plated toilet. Donald Trump is the elites. Donald Trump is the swamp that you're trying. Like, how did we set the and Grok's not even pushing back against this. Donald Trump is not juxtaposed against the elite. Donald Trump is the definition of the elite. This dude is getting federal charges for falsifying business records in regard to election campaign finances. Does that sound like a common man? What happened to Jimmy Carter's fucking peanut farm?
I don't feel like we're going to get stuck. I think that the cool thing is that we're not going to get stuck in one or the other, because we're always going to have dumb people. That's just what, like, not everyone's going to be
Yes, and they should lead the world for us.
Be represented at some point. So I like the fact that we're able to kind of switch back and forth now.
Dude,
and I think
this conversation is so fucking long,
exaggerating that to the max degree.
So I don't know if I can do this, man.
This is the thing, is that like it sounds all fun and games when you're like a kid. Like, you know, the reason I want there to be like tests, like you should have to pass an actual test, like a 5-question test on every single social media website about a foreign policy topic before you were allowed to post, comment, like, receive anything on your page relating to the topic of or discussion of the topics of foreign policy, of global politics. Like, you should just not be allowed to even think or have your voice heard until you prove that you have like a spine or a soul or like 2 functioning brain cells. And the reason I want this so desperately is because dumb people used to have some kind of like sense of like, I will bow my head when someone more intelligent than me takes the reins. And we lost that. We lost it a long time ago. And we need to have it back, because stupid people really do just need to learn humility, and they need to...
True. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. True. All right. You want me back?
Just sit, like, know your place, bro. Like, sit the fuck down and know your place. I know that you're mad.
Yes,
don't act like a baby.
True.
Okay? We design everything. We're the smart people. If you have a master's degree, if you have a bachelor's degree, like, you're a Democrat, chances are, if you pursue higher education. We're the ones who are designing your technology, who are programming the shit that you use. That, like, if you live in a house and you had, like, construction for it done, the machinery and the technology used to help aid in that construction is probably developed by someone who had the same political beliefs as me. We are your glue. We are your bread and butter. You need us, because we are also the most economically productive in this country. It is always the population centers. It is always these big coagulations of blue people that run the states, that subsidize the other surrounding states. Like, you are less important. You represent less of an alignment with our interests. Like, I don't want you voting to bring back... We're not bringing back coal. We're not doing that. We're not digging with pickaxes like Minecraft men. We are going to have nuclear facilities like adults, because we are intelligent.
True.
We are the free world, and we're not fucking losers who have to go back to smoking on black rocks to fuel our shit. This is lame. This is lame, and it's gay.
So
it's lame, and it's gay, and you know.
I get that, but don't you think the reason why, I guess, the humility disappeared is because more and more people on, let's just say, your side, for quote unquote, for the sake of this conversation.
I will say though, I don't think that's not a rhetorically effective thing to say. Like, one of the biggest reasons that people feel so divided from the Democrats is because we make it out to, like, Democrats are these, like, elitist people that can't relate to the poor folks, and we're, like, kind of implicitly drawing this dichotomy that, like, the Republicans are for the working class poor folk, and the Democrats just serve to, or just focus to serve the elite. Like that, Grok's statement there was kind of reinforcing that stereotype, and that's horseshit too.
Is like being more and more what do you call it? What is it called? Kind of like talking down at them, at a sense. Like, no one really likes that, and this is like a vibe argument, but like I don't know.
I know, but you should just have, like, confidence then. If you don't like that,
yeah, but they're going to be very spite driven, and I feel like that's why Trump ended up winning, because a lot of people didn't like.
Fuck him, they get bitten, bro. You wanted him in the vein of getting bitten because you thought the other side had bit you, but it was a phantom bite. There was no bite. You were tricked into thinking there was a bite, so you wanted to bite back. All right. Now when actual bites are being fucking thrown, you bitch.
That's not quite true. I mean, partially true. Okay, but like. The bites that Wise Guy is pointing out, I think, are accurately diagnosed. I think there was a really, really big condescension problem when it came to misclick. I think there was a really big condescension problem when it came to like Democrat messaging for the past little while. Like, that's obviously I'd almost say that that's self-evident. Like, I don't even know. Like, that's super clear. Now, whether or not that's still present or not, I don't know. And obviously, didn't justify the kind of shit that we're seeing right now, obviously, but or like the bite back for being condescending isn't to unravel all of our fucking checks and balances. But I mean, Wise Guy is also like accurately diagnosing a problem that I think Grok did just engage in that like the super condescending like you know, you poor people just need to shut the fuck up and let the smart people do everything just isn't a way that America can really function. And isn't a way that Americans will relate to. They'll be like, hey, fuck you, all right? You know, like, I'm farming out here. I'm doing the manufacturing jobs. You have soft hands, you know, like that's all they're going to say, so.
And you scream, bro. Like, we are not allowed to do anything. We are literally not allowed to do anything. Like,
I mean, but like, well like, 'cause like the Hillary Clinton stuff, I saw her, well, when I started watching the, like, later on, when I rewatched the stuff, at the time I had no idea. I thought Hillary was going to win, and then randomly Trump just wins, and I'm like, wait, what? Everyone kept saying that Trump was going to lose. So, but beside that, when I started watching the old stuff of, like, the old debates between them, I was like, oh, I kind of see how Trump won that. Hillary kind of seemed very, very condescending towards Trump, and it had the perceived, like, let's just say knowledge, for lack of a better word, perceived...
yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah, true.
Thing as Trump always defending himself between like the debates and stuff, because Hillary was always like very it seemed like she was nagging, so like it was the woman aspect but also the very condescending aspect as well, where it like that kind of like catalytic that's kind of started it. Biden didn't really have that.
Biden was right, and like the problem is she was right. And, like,
yeah, but the thing is, even though she
was right,
yeah, she's right, but like no one, you know, people are very like, there's logic, like you can be logic and be right, but that doesn't mean you're going to win with people that just do not care if you're right at that point. Some people, I think a lot of people value.
That's true. He should. That's kind of true. Fuck. Wise Guy may actually serve some utility in like just doing like a fucking psychological study on how MAGA retards think. Cause like he's making like decent observations about like why people are disaffected from the Democratic Party, or at least I think so. I just don't understand, like, what, like, is it just that people are so disaffected by the Democrats that they're willing to do anything else at all, ever? Is that the answer? I can't tell.
Like being right is a high.
Me that you have to convince me that I have to treat these people like they're even more of retarded children. Like, you're making me just want to not give a fuck, and like, I will policy shame the fuck out of you. The moment my incumbent is in office, I will beat your ass. We will have some like post-Civil War reconstruction of the South type shit, okay? We will have the military down there to get you fuckers in line, all right? There will be diversity. You will have trans people in your bathrooms, and you're going to like it. And Air Force One's going to fucking be there. So it's like,
yeah, but
this shit does need to happen. And the problem is that like,
you're just gonna...
like, but the problem is you're bitch made. All these people are bitch made, and they're cry bullies. They're the biggest fucking cry bullies. Like, bro, these are the guy who Trump was the one making fun of that one fucking autist reporter who like screaming out. And bro, and we get this huge defense campaign, like literally this crazy defense campaign, or locker room talk. You heard that go around? Locker room talk.
Yeah.
You get these wild defenses thrown out. But when Gavin Newsom,
he says this too, by the way,
a person who's in a wheelchair, he calls them Hot Wheels. Oh my God. Let's have two whole days of Fox News segments about this, guys. Let's have 2 full fucking days of this being the only thing that people see on their TV screens.
I mean,
for fucking days on millions of people. It is literally the most popular channel in the world, bro. It's literally it is the most popular news shit.
You could tell this guy's a DGGer. He's like literally, he gets mad in the same way that Destiny does. That's funny.
But do you realize that in during the first presidency,
you acknowledge it's fake, right? You acknowledge it is
the ultimate Destiny simp versus the ultimate Destiny hater.
I don't know for a fact if it is fake, but I'll just take your word for it for right now. But like the point that I want to make though is that during 2016, like the whole 2016 through 2020 stuff, less in the 2020 area, but like from 2016 onward, even from 2015, like all you had was like a bunch of CNN articles saying how bad Trump is and stuff like that. Like this every new wave, like all this basically negativity about Trump, like every article.
The difference is that Democrats, one, are doing it in response to Donald Trump actually doing harmful policy. It's not just like, I guess it's kind of, I mean, at first it was the Hot Wheels stuff, but that's because it was genuinely unprecedented at that point. But now all of the substantive attacks from the Democrat media are usually policy issues. And the problem isn't necessarily like tone policing politicians. I think that's fine sometimes. The problem is that you have the Democrats tone policing Donald Trump whenever he says the craziest shit in the world, and then when Democrats match the energy that Donald Trump is giving, then Republicans act like this is a giant breach of norms by the Democrats, as if they didn't do it first, as if they didn't vote, as if they didn't vote in Donald Trump. That's the problem.
All the time,
right,
it was random stuff. Well, it wasn't really right.
He got found guilty, bro. Hold on, he had a business. He was found guilty of discriminating against black people. Like if you had two people go in and be like, "Hello, can I purchase a Trump property?" And if it's a white guy, they say, "Sure, welcome in." If it's a black guy, they say, "No, get out." And the reason they knew is because they started pressing. They did a mock thing to see which person would get the thing. The only difference was the race, and the guy who was white got accepted. The black guy got kicked out. They investigated it. They grilled the guy who's interviewing. And he goes, "Look, it's not my policy. It comes from the top. This is my boss ordering me to do this." And like there was literally lists of people where if you were black, they put a C next to your name, colored, because they didn't want black people in his apartment building.
Is that true?
And he lost that case.
Jesus.
He lost that case, and everybody knew that for years. And SNL was joking about it, bro. Larry David was running cover for Trump, bro. They were literally sucking his dick. They were like, "Trump's a racist," and then Trump goes, "Oh, said that, is it you, Larry David?" And Larry David goes, "Someone said they'd give me $100 if I said it." So it was even their joke. Their joke was that people accused Trump of being racist for no reason, even though he literally lost a case and everybody knew it. It was just true. It was true, and everybody was right to say it. He also said we're going to ban all Muslims from coming into the country. He also said oh yeah, what was it? He put out like a 2-page ad on the Parkland or the something 5. What was it? It was
Central
like
Park 5.
The New York City 5, who were like these falsely accused black people who were trying to get like fucking. He was trying to be basically killed because he wanted like them to get fucking prosecuted and shit. Bro, it's wild. It is literally the most wild shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Everyone wants cover for it, bro.
I agree that Trump basically is Trump is like the sole connector for the two different worlds that exist out there right now, for like all the people that hate Trump and see all the negative things that are actually true about him, but then you have all the people that love Trump and see all the negative things and they just say, oh, it's just another bad thing that people are just lying about. Like that.
I've been tossing around. I have a scrapped Substack about this. I might post it as a TikTok or something. I called it like the bias of nonpartisanship or some bullshit like that. Where it's like people just automatically assume that that the Republicans are serious because they're one of the two major parties, and whenever there's like disproportionate coverage of a particular thing from the Republicans, or there's like super like theoretically divisive rhetoric around a Republican, it doesn't matter how true it is. What matters is that they are always going to perceive both sides as more or less equal, because that's how it was when they were growing up, and they're never going to acknowledge, like, there's not a bar that the Republicans can cross, because they're automatically going to assume that any crazy thing they hear can't actually be true, and that this is just like made up because it's going against like one of their fundamental perceptions that both of the parties are equal. They're never going to believe any of the things that Donald Trump does because they're so fucking insane, but they can't actually comprehend that it's actually as crazy as it seems. So they're just going to play cover for it because they don't think that it's possible that somebody this fucking crazy leads the free world. Like, it's just not a conclusion that people can really sit down and accept, I don't think. So they just, like, they are biased because they're never going to accept any information that like breaks that narrative for them, but they think they're being unbiased about it because they're coming in with the assumption that both sides are the same. But the problem is it's incredibly biased if your options are a toddler with a fucking snot rocket hanging out of his mouth and like a scientist. It's incredibly biased to say that these two are the same because of the party that nominated them. That's incredible bias. But they're not perceiving it because they can't believe that this is the situation that they're in. So they're just kind of, like, their brain is making them think that the biased ones are actually the ones prescribing reality correctly because they can't believe that this is the reality we live in. I think that's a really big part in, like, trying to convince these people to, like, not support what Donald Trump is doing right now, is just convincing them that Donald Trump, like, and not just like through headlines, because they're not actually going to trust the news. You just have to have like actual conversations with these people saying, like, Donald Trump is actually this bad. He is actually doing the crazy shit that you think is fake news. But you can't do that. The problem is that you can't like really top down message it, because if you do, it's just going to reinforce everything. It's just going to reinforce their perception that everything is super biased against Trump.
Everyone keeps, the issue is that there's too much stuff, too much negative things that are correct and also incorrect about Trump, and everyone is looking at their own.
Not true. Every time.
I'm glad Grok pushes back against this. Like, what's an example of like a really bad mainstream narrative against Donald Trump? Like, I can't think of like, I don't know if I can think of an example of something that was like hyper blown out of proportion with Donald Trump, really. Most of the things ended up turning out more or less to be true. I mean, like there's some things that were false reports, but that's gonna happen. How's it going, Fuzzy?
Time he gets up, he should say, "Oh, hello, Trump."
And why
and
is
there
that?
should be a little tag underneath that says "found civilly liable for sexual assault." That's what should happen. And it should be legally required that they should do that.
Yeah, but the claim wouldn't.
They should have another
It's true. It's true.
in front of a jury.
It's true, but the claim wouldn't be, oh, he was found liable. Like, the people that like Trump are going to get bombarded with, oh, the guy that was convicted of rape, which that wasn't true. He didn't get convicted of rape. He got.
No one ever says he got convicted of rape. That's that's also a problem, is that people will give nuanced terms, but it doesn't matter how nuanced you are, because they're just going to kind of walk it back into the straw man that they know and then characterize you as giving the straw man. This happens all the time in my debates. But like, yeah, like you're not going to find mainstream media with the balls to say that Donald Trump was convicted of raping somebody, because that's illegal. That's defamation. I think the one person called him a rapist in like colloquial terms, but that's because the judge ruled that that it was likely that he raped her. He was just never convicted, but no one's ever going to make the claim that Donald Trump was convicted of rape. Like, criminally convicted. I would love to see anybody anybody with actual like mainstream clout, or like any sort of mainstream pull, that made a claim like that.
Found liable of that.
But you can't ask for that, because I mean, like, obviously that's a really, really, I mean, like, even if they did, I mean, that's a really, really hard bar. But fuck. Okay, we gotta walk in.
It's the lie. That's the over exaggeration of the lie that most people that will say, oh, this like dismiss.
You're the only one making that. You're the only one making that over exaggeration. Nobody on the left makes that exaggeration, unless they're referencing the opinion from the judge. In that case, it's true. In that case, the judge did find that was more likely than not to have happened.
Rape allegations and stuff like that, because they hear the over-exaggerated nonsense all the time.
The judge said it would be defensible to call it rape, right? Like, the judge who adjudicated the case said, yeah, in common language, you could say.
In common language. But, like, that's not technically true. Like, he didn't get convicted of rape. That's not true. But I guess you could call it that.
The legal definition for rape required that he put his penis in her vagina, but he didn't. He only used his fingers when he forcibly entered himself into her body. So technically it wasn't rape because his dick wasn't involved, but he still didn't violate her consent.
Also,
that's the reason he only got the sexual assault.
Okay, the sexual assault, and not okay. Well, I mean, yeah,
sexual
that was
abuse.
also like a very long time ago.
Literally I have to take this shit seriously.
Yeah,
bro,
well,
you lost the case. You got your ass handed to you in the case. And you want to know another funny thing is, like, there's my two favorite fat L's was that one, the fraud one, and it's got to be the election, bro. He said it was rigged. So he said, we're going to investigate it. Lindsey Graham does a fucking line of cocaine, gets up, says, we're doing the
sexual assault. I'm pretty sure he got held civilly liable for sexual abuse. I don't think it was. I think abuse and assault are separate. So I don't know, man. LOL, as if that's better. Yeah, true.
You remember the Kraken? And it was going to be this huge investigation to uncover all the fraud that they had found related to the election. They're going to find all of it. 62 cases are launched. They lose all of them.
Yeah,
some of the judges who threw out your cases were Republicans, and they were not just Republicans; they were Republicans who were appointed by your administration.
Oh wait, I don't even have him unlocked.
Like, sit the fuck down.
I don't even have this fucker unlocked.
I don't know what else to say about this.
Can I even use him?
Yeah, I mean, there really isn't anything else to say, because like he believed what he wanted to believe, and he had a lot of people surrounding him.
Holy
basically
shit!
Espousing
Cheat code?
I mean, yes, I get it.
Give me XP before I even have him unlocked.
He ended up winning, and now we kind of have to like...
Because a bunch of emotionally irresponsible infants were given the reins for a little bit, and now the adults have to come back in the room and go, okay, you just ruined all of our foreign relations, and trade is going to take a while to get back to where it was under Biden because you completely disrupted the global economy with your stupid tariff bullshit, and you did nothing domestically because you gave $800 billion in tax breaks to only the oil companies, $1 trillion in tax cuts to only 1%, and you made ICE the 7th largest military in terms of funding on the planet, when literally their only job would be to kick out brown people who are doing manual labor. Thank you, Trump. You really made us great again. That's what has to happen, okay? And then the people who have a fucking brain, all right, and who have been talked down to and been told to have been quiet and nice and respectful, because a lot of people believe this stuff. You're right. A lot of people also believe in the fucking tooth fairy. The reason we don't have to deal with these people's opinions is because these people are toddlers. They are in school right now, okay? And in the same way, the toddlers in the situation should be taken out of the room, sat down, given a microphone to have a podcast with like 30 people, and then never get into politics again. That's what, if we were lived in a world where Marjorie Taylor Greene was just doing that and was not wielding the levers of power of the largest and most powerful country in the world right now, I wouldn't give a shit. But it's literally like you have a whiny, stupid mom. Like, it's not just that it's the worst parts of a mother that you don't want to see, the smugness, the moral self-righteousness, the stupidity, like the very, very blunt stupidity. And I think the voice also just pisses me off. It's just like, it's nutters. It's nutters. It's nutters, bro. It is nutters.
Yeah, I feel like we're not gonna, I mean, there's definitely some problems that we're gonna have to deal with, but I don't think we have any, like, I don't think there's gonna be some major long-term issue where if Trump's in office for 4 years, or like the country's gonna be.
Is there a difference? Sure, but enough of a difference to make, yeah, no, not really. Yeah, like, if your friend was found guilty of sexually abusing somebody, you wouldn't go, oh, well, actually, it was sexual assault. Like, that's not going to change anything.
Destroyed, or the destruction of the country is going to, like, end up happening, and we're going to die or something.
Well,
we
do destroy other countries, and we don't notice it. So, like, Trump backed the wrong side in the Libya
fight. 420.
Right? Like, we were on the side of the Russia, Turkey, like, Libyan National Council, which was we were fighting against the UN-backed people. We went against the United Nations to back ourselves with Putin and no, it was the Saudis, I think. Like, why are we doing this? Like, thousands of people just died. If America put their foot down and stood with the UN, that entire conflict wouldn't have happened. But he got suckered into this one like meeting. The guy said, "Help us fight terrorism," without really explaining what that meant. So then he basically flipped on America's position on Libya because he was tricked by their dictator. And then same thing with the Kurds. Like, these are people who are helping us fight ISIS, right? These are probably, I have so much respect for the Kurds. They've had to deal with a lot of shit. Like, the Kurds are one of the best groups that we could be aligned with in that region. And we abandoned them, leading to like hundreds of them dying and over 100,000 of them getting displaced because Al-Qaeda Turkish-backed death squads come in and start beheading people. Why are we doing this? He did this to try and curb like to win over anti-war voters by making it look like he's reducing overseas conflict. He just killed a bunch of brown people and then dipped, and then nobody cares. So we ruin other countries' legacies. And now 380,000 people right now are dead in a couple of months because of the USAID cuts. The estimation right now is that 14 million people are going to die by 2030.
The US, the US.
Holocaust. That is a holocaust of black people, of poor, starving, dying black people with AIDS in foreign countries, in Africa specifically. It's literally so morally obvious that you should be bullied for not understanding it.
I understand it. I understand it's just that, but like the intent of cutting the USAID wasn't to delete a bunch of black people. That wasn't the intent of that at all. No one's arguing that. Like, that wasn't a predictable outcome. That was the outcome.
The intent of me throwing a brick off the bridge was to make a big splash in the water below. But when people came under in a gondola and I fractured that woman's skull, like, it doesn't matter what my intent was. I was doing a dangerous thing. I fucked around and I killed a lot of people. Now I'm not allowed to have power anymore because I'm too much of an unstable toddler. And frankly, the rest of the world doesn't even know what my side of the story is because I defunded all of the overseas radio. This was how hundreds of thousands of people got their news every day. It was American funded and backed radio stations in dictatorships in foreign countries. The global South listened to us on these things. Okay, people in the Middle East listened to us on these things, and it was the right side of the story. And now they're not even hearing our side of the story, and we have nothing to tell them because we're only losing. We're only doing worse and worse and worse things. Like, we're killing the poorest. We're not helping people who should obviously be helped. We have no unified front to present to the world. We are scattered. We're broken. We're displaced. Like, things are gonna hurt. They're gonna hurt for a while before they get better because we're doing really, really self-destructive dumb shit.
Yeah, I mean,
true that.
I see that. I mean, the U.S. is always damaging and destroying and having very, very negative and sometimes positive. Sometimes positive.
It stops genocide. Sometimes it comes in and it protects an innocent country, and that's a good thing to be. I want America to look like that. But I don't want America to be like what it was after the Iraq War. I don't want America to be the Vietnam War era America. I don't like that America. That America is run by Republicans, and that America is a disgusting one. I want the America where we go into Kosovo and we save the Kosovars. I want the America who is standing with a Kuwaiti who's been liberated after we've beaten off Hussein. That is the American I want to see, okay? Because these people are angels. These people are gods amongst men. It is the most humane thing that you can do. There's nothing more beautiful than the pictures of people like fleeing Dachau into the arms of like an American soldier. Like, that's the coolest thing ever. That like we are. Like, when World War I rolled around and the American planner got there, they worshipped him at his feet. They like, priests were crying because it was so important to them. That's what the Western world could be. We could be angels of peace coming into end, war and liberation. But we're not. We're losers. We're losers who do and know nothing. And we fuck ourselves. We shoot ourselves in the foot over and over and over again. I hate it. I hate it because
this is the price of freedom, though. This is the price of freedom.
We're not even free. Like, we have worse wealth mobility. We have worse income inequality.
I don't understand. So Grok was just talking about how he loves when America. This is the clip that I saw, by the way. I would be, oh my god. I already saw this. All right, I'm not gonna pre-react to you. Yeah, Grok was literally just talking about how beautiful he thinks it is when America stands up for freedom, and now America is removing that role from itself on the world stage. And Wise Guy says, well, this is the price of freedom. The price of freedom is restricting your ability to fight for democracy. to fight for American value. That's the price of freedom, is absolutely fucking our ability to actually do anything to protect American values. Really?
Like we, for what?
Not even American values. Sorry, I'm being too imperialist. Like just protect people from dying from AIDS. That's the price of freedom. The price of freedom is the money that we would pay to stop these people from dying of AIDS.
Freedom to get, bro. I can get weed in fucking like Norway, bro. Everything about my life would have been better, just like statistically. Just
like what does that even? What does that response even mean?
Rather than here. So what I want in terms of politics is to make our country look as much like the Nordic countries as possible in order to achieve something of that level, of that status. And I think we can get there. We just need to work for it.
I think the system we have is more fair though, because like you let the people that you let the people that you disagree with into power and they do their thing, but it's not enough to like. I mean,
two-party system. That's archaic. Like at least we don't even have like a good Congress.
We have a two-party system, but we do technically have more parties. It's just that no one really votes for them.
Exactly, but I want more multipolarity. I want more like diversity.
Yeah, Canada kind of has something like that, but there has been there's some issues that there's unique issues for all different types of systems. But I mean, I see what you're saying, and I agree for the most part. It's just that I agree that there is problems that America has, and a lot of the things that the U.S. That Trump is doing with the U.S. is kind of like making our system like bad, I guess. Like the unintentional destruction of the unintentional outcomes of the destruction of USAID.
He almost said the unintentional destruction of USAID. Like, what did he think was going to happen when we dismantled USAID? What do you think? What do you think is going to fucking happen when people are receiving USAID and you dismantle the agency that gives people USAID? You're like, what? These people aren't receiving USAID now? After we've dismantled USAID? Really? What do you think what do you think was going to happen? No one has any pencils after I demolished the pencil factory? Really? I thought that the pencils were just given.
Well, it's for the greater good. Now we don't have all this like wasteful spending. Like Trump did run on that as like a really big thing, and he tried. And he literally
thing that I read.
And he did try and do it.
When Marco Rubio put out a statement on the White House website, when he put out, it was a Substack. When he put out a statement, it said, since its inception, USAID has spent unchecked over 700 billion United States. It's like 732 billion United States dollars. He tries to make it like this big sort of like grand number, and it's just like that is 1 year of defense spending, bro. That is a singular calendar year of defense spending. And since its inception, since it was literally created, it has spent that much money. That is 1 year of our defense sector.
Yeah, but would you think that a lot of the MAGA people would say that defense spending is like waste?
They wouldn't, bro, because Doge didn't touch that. You thought they would, but they caved to the neocons in the end because Doge was poking around, and Trump made that one exploratory statement where he's talking, he's like, and in the Pentagon, we might have to look there too with Doge, and I'm not the first one to say it, and it's not a great thing to say, but we have to look there too. Maybe there's fraud, who knows? That's what he said, and nothing came from that. There was no investigations into the DOD, there was no forcing them to audit themselves, there was no check of like all their shit. Like, none of that happened because they're completely bought into those interests. It's like, bro, it's a joke too. We know this. They've been the warmonger. Like, Republicans want war. They love war. If you tell them war, like, they get a boner. And this sort of like, edging that we're doing now politically, where Republicans have to jerk themselves off on the idea, like, they're laughing while they're doing it. It's like, Trump has ended 5 wars. No, the fuck he hasn't, bro. And you don't even care. You can't name these countries. You can't point to these countries on the map, bro. First of all, he didn't.
I mean, there's a technicality. He did like stop some wars that no one really talks about. That he
wasn't even important in any of those. He wasn't even important.
Like, one of the countries literally had a like you guys would call it a cringe celebration of like Trump, like basically having it was like some sort of celebration where they had like a bunch of Trump like pictures in the background. And they were just giving their thanks to Donald Trump and then trying to like nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Lasers, bro.
Yeah, I forget which country it was, but like they stated what it was, and I was like, oh, okay, so I guess that's the thing he's talking about. But no one talks about that.
Like, you guys love fucking wars, you really do. Like,
well, but wait, before like the whole the Republican thing. So like when you say Republican, do you mean the new Republican that Trump completely like turned MAGA into, or do you mean like old Republican that a lot of
who you are, bro? I like that's the thing.
Yeah, but don't you think that's difference? Don't you think there's like a major difference with like MAGA Republican versus like normal like neocon old Republican?
No, it is important because I want these people to know how unbelievably they've been duped. Like, bro, even if you're not like a nutter neocon, that's the crazies who you support, bro. They are all nutter warhawks and they want to kill brown people. Like, I don't even know.
I don't believe that they just want to. I mean, the framing is so wild. They're neocons and they do a lot of a lot of wars and stuff within the Middle East. But like framing is like, oh, they just want to kill brown people. That's the thing that I'm like there's no, it's not necessary.
No, it's not even building XP.
They need someone to scapegoat.
Oh my god.
War is politically useful, so they do it. You'd be like, why do we have problems? It's terrorists.
I can agree with that. But framing is like, oh, they only want to kill brown people. That's where you lose me.
Not only, but if what they do comes at the expense of killing brown people, then they do want to do that because they know it.
Yeah, but you're just playing a little semantic game on that. Where like, yes, you're technically correct, but that's not
if that's
really
what your outcomes lead to, bro. You want that, bro. Like, I'll own it. If I have to stand on something and be like, you want dead babies because you believe in abortions, I'm like, I do, because I don't think that baby.
Yeah, but I don't think that's fair either. When the pro-life people just say, oh, you just want to kill people because you want babies because you want abortions, I'm like, no, that's not true. Like that's an over exaggeration.
Like, but I'll stand on it. I'll bite it.
Now I don't think it's fair to characterize it that way though. I feel like that's just extreme.
Bruh, I saw that vid of BB talking to settlers after he asked them to stop recording. He starts talking about how the U.S. can be moved. Huh. Interessante.
For no reason. It's very misleading.
It's accurate enough. There was some really gross shit that nobody has received repercussions for. Like, there's a reason why nobody else liked this after we did it. It really did just fucking ruin us.
Oh, wait, what are you talking about specifically?
Iraq.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it's...
There's some reasonings what they gave for us for why they went in there, because like 9/11 and everything.
Well, not they. Republicans did. Keep in mind, it was the nutter neocons who were pressuring everybody.
Okay.
There's a video that I want to show you. There was an attack ad on a Democrat politician where it's only his face. It's only his face, and it's questioning his allegiance to America because he voted against the defense bill. And the reason they had to crop only his face when they were doing the smear campaign, which was deliberately questioning whether or not he was committed to the defense of their country, right? That's the smear they were trying to attack him with. The reason they only showed his face is because his arm and both of his legs were blown off by a landmine in Vietnam. If they're willing to go so low that they will slander and smear this guy as not being aligned with the security of America just to like push their war point, you are far gone. That's where politics is back then. That's how bad it is.
I agree that the neocon stuff of the old Republican is starting to fuse with the like MAGA Republican, which I feel like it's much more fair to like. I don't care for the old Republican because like I don't really know them at all. All I know is the Trump Republican version. So like I don't think it's
like at least that one was boring. At least when they did bad shit, it was incredibly boring. Your guy just does bad shit, and it's the most obvious bad shit, and then we just are forced to forget about it because something even worse just showed up. So it's just like
meme it, like, oh, the alligator Alcatraz thing. Like you guys think it's like the worst thing ever. Like, oh, you're just throwing just random like just visa people into the thing, when the way I would characterize it is that it's a prison that has alligators and people that do crimes go there, and I don't see there's not really that big of an issue on that.
That's both of those. The problem is that you could say like, oh, well, you view the Holocaust as like this thing where like Germans were ushering Jews in to kill them on the grounds of them, you know, controlling all of the banks in Germany. I say it was a camp where people can go and work. Do you notice how both of those framings are technically true? But it's a really big problem if my framing is true. That's the framing that he gave, which was trying to be, I think it was trying to be a straw man too, of Alligator Alcatraz was true.
That, but that's like a whole world divide there on
like,
one specific
maybe you're
thing.
on the fucking idiot side for a little bit when you're like, yes, hello, I'm the president. You know what the problem? Crime's a problem. You know what we do to stop crime? You got a big fuck off prison with alligators swimming around. So here we are at.
Yeah, this is like a Disney. I think people should put this out more too. Yeah, it's like a Disney villain's idea of how to combat crime. It's like, okay, let's build a giant fucking gray wall prison in the fucking Everglades, and we'll like dig a moat and we'll fill it with alligators. It's like, why?
Alcatraz, which is a famous prison, by the way, and we're bringing it back to take all the criminals and put them there. Vote
Not
for me,
criminals, brown people.
and take out your cell phone device and put out a hashtag about how epic this is. You don't think we're in like the idiot timeline when this is what politicians are doing? Like, can you accept that this is literally like unbelievable stuff?
This is not the elites. I can say that this is not how the elites. This is like the normal average person. Less
You're right,
uninformed.
It makes it more dumb, and it makes it more fun to watch as someone who has any kind of like standard for how political officials should act.
I can agree.
We have lost all standards. We've lost literally every standard because he breaks them all the time. And now it's just sort of like seeing how far he can go with like
put
examples.
The fucking tower down. Holy!
Like, the fact that we're looking at like crypto
about
ads
to fucking lose for this bullshit.
I think this is really funny. I think it's funny.
It's
Which, by the way, was a forced military parade that we didn't have to do, that he did just to celebrate his own birthday, that cost millions of dollars in taxpayer money because they had to repave all the fucking roads because the tanks were too heavy and broke all the fucking asphalt, bro. It is a joke. It is a joke. It literally is like a clown circus show, bro.
And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people love it. Like Asmongold said himself, he's the content president.
I agree, because they're like, this is as stupid and as
they can relate to it too.
As stupid as me.
That's the thing.
Fuck you, dude. Think better of yourself, bro. I hate having to court these people. Oh, it's just them. It's just how stupid they are. Fuck them, bro. Don't make my country worse because you're a dipshit. Bro,
True.
we were going in the direction with Obama. We were going somewhere, okay? And now we're going nowhere. We were going to hell. We were going
but there was a fatal issue with what was it called? Bernie Sanders. He should have been the nominee. A lot of people despise the fact that the Democratic Party system to nominate their nominees, like it basically pushed him out of the thing. It was for some reason it was unfair. I don't know why, but that's
Bernie,
like the talking point.
He just lost the vote. He just didn't have his voters. Like Bernie, I'm sad he didn't win, but Bernie has some L takes on some specific issues.
I don't know why it was rigged, but I remember it was rigged.
I don't like wealth tax. I think wealth tax is stupid.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but that would have been way better than Trump.
Right? Sada, walk in.
Like, I'm saying that as if I believe that, but like I don't really know too much about Bernie. But
I agree.
Sada.
Again, like,
but your system did that.
They were calling Obama a communist for years, bro. Like, you have no idea how big the slander campaign was against this fucking guy. Okay. They accused his wife of being a transgender. They accused him of being a fake Haitian migrant. They accused him of being gay and doing crack, because there was one gay crackhead who said, "Hey, I was at the White House," and that's a dubious claim at best. And he says Obama had sex with me. And you know, interview that guy, Tucker Carlson, the #1 most viewed media personality figure of all time. Like, he was on the TV screen of millions of people every night at 9 for years. He was cited as there's top ratings, most viewed things. Like, it's crazy.
Let me give you my actual stance on like how I feel about the whole political system. Well, besides the part where I don't take it super serious, like there's issues, but like I don't take it to the extent to where I need to make jokes about dead kids and stuff like that. But I sympathize with
bro. Jokes about dead kids is how you know you've actually gotten there, bro.
I mean, yeah, okay, whatever. But anyways, I don't really care for the whole conspiracies that the right pushes, but I'm very sympathetic towards Trump because of all of the negative coverage that he got for his first term, and all of the like. When I was really young, so I wasn't really paying attention to it. But
all of it was true. He went on to debate Destiny over whether or not it was true, over whether or not the characterizations of Donald Trump's first term were fair in the Russia thing, and he didn't know anything about it. And you don't even know if they mistreated him. You just have a perception of them mistreating him because he's a demon and they treated him like a demon, but you don't think that a Republican mainstream politician can be a demon. But like, treating a demon like a demon is not bad.
Sentiment for being ill-informed, like just being a normal teenager, was that Trump was just going to lose. He was a joke. And then when he won, I'm like, wait, how? That didn't even make any sense to me. But I never really looked into it because like I didn't really care about politics at the time. So I'm very sympathetic towards Trump, and I will give him the benefit of the doubt for some of the issues that's going on here. And the issue is that a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that because like there was a lot of things that Trump was.
You do that. Don't say the issue is, and then say people think like I do. Clearly, you don't think it's an issue.
Or people claim that he did that were just either gross over exaggerations or just lies. Most of it was just gross over exaggerations, which is the thing that
like
it
what?
Felt like a bunch of people were just lying about him when
Brock,
there was
ask
probably
for an
lots
example,
of kernels of truth that people just didn't want to be specific.
Brock, ask for an example.
Yeah, yes, but the only reason he was able to even be in that spot in the first place because he had all these attacks to twist the narrative. Like if you didn't exaggerate the thing, he wouldn't have like a plausible deniability like defense for it. Like
they were right.
They weren't right with the over exaggeration. That wasn't right at all. Like there might be kernels of truth, but no one really.
Again, this is the blame Trump. Trump over exaggerates all the time. He said, "Over me for president, I will end the war in Ukraine in day 1. It will be gone over in 24 hours." He's elected. It doesn't happen. Nobody cares. Like that should be quality. Like that should be grounds for you. In my opinion, just you've lost.
No, but you understand.
Sometimes when people have disdain for another person, it's because that person earned it. Yes, true. Thank you.
And why I'm sympathetic because of all that. Like you do acknowledge that there was a lot of negative coverage of him.
I really don't feel like I need to have too much sympathy.
It was earned.
But you understand why
It was earned. Like, the negative coverage was earned.
Understand, right?
I understand. As a human, I will not like hate you, but sometimes people just need to take a gracious L and like move on. People take no gracious L's anymore. I will take a gracious L.
But the thing that makes me unique, I feel like, with my perspective, is that I still see, like, I disagree. I agree with most of Destiny's takes as long as it doesn't involve Trump. Anything to do with Trump, I will I will sometimes agree.
Because you have TDS.
Oh, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but most of the time I'll be disagreeing. But the Israel
ask for an
stuff
example, please. Ask for an example. Oh yeah, that's the one issue. I actually agree with Destiny on Israel. Okay, Grok, please ask for an example of one like bad take as it pertains to either the mainstream media coverage of Trump or even Destiny's coverage of Trump when it comes to like any policy thing. Please.
was the reason why I started watching his content in the first place when he started doing that.
I can hear the dick in your mouth, by the way.
Yeah.
Trump do not need to be raising this fat fuck. He's fat loser rapist who.
I mean, I just feel like he's been treated. I feel like he's been cheated unfairly and has like very little. I think
he treated his past wives unfairly.
Okay, but that doesn't mean people need to start like that's not justification to start treating him unfairly. Like that's justification for his past wives to.
Who he is. And that's what everybody should have like known. Like if you were going to talk about this guy, it's like this is a scumbag. He cheated on his prior wife. He has 3 prior wives. He also bankrupted multiple businesses. Like this should just be like on his little sticker, like his placard.
Okay. Sure.
It's like if you're a scumbag behind the scenes, you should know that, right? Like I'm glad that we have like whispers of like people inside Hollywood who it's like, oh yeah, actually, what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio is a fucking cockhead. Like I'm glad that I know that because I'm like that tracks for me as a person. Like I can see Leonardo DiCaprio and I can imagine him being a scumbag. And I look at Trump and I'm like that tracks perfectly. Actually, that makes complete sense.
Okay, but that's like the only reason why I'm like I'm not gonna jump to the instant like the negative of like Trump and stuff like that and give him the benefit of the doubt. But the conspiracy theories that's on the right, like with the like there's a sect of the right that's like embodying the whole Palestinian movement thing that I end up well not really the Palestinian movement, but anti-Israel type of stuff where they're just anti-Israel and I'm like I just don't feel like that's like
Also, one more thing and I'll leave.
All right.
Candace Owens of the right are incredibly annoying. I totally agree with you. Fuck those people. But I think that, I think what really needs to happen is we just need to, sit down and be a lot more trusting of liberals because we're right about a lot. All right. I'll see you later.
All right. See you.
Brain rot. Okay. Yeah, that was brain rot. I'm sorry, Grok. Okay.